Namaskaram everyone. Welcome to the guided meditation session of Vivekananda Samiti under guidance of Swami Atmashraddhananda Maharaj. Those who are new and regular, the meditation class pattern is like this. Initially, we'll have chantings followed by reading from complete works of Swami Vivekananda. We are reading Inspired Talks, which is 7th volume. After that, we'll have guided meditation session.
And greetings to everybody and a happy good morning or Suprabhatam. We are almost in the last class of the month of February. Next month, the beginning on 4th of March, we have the birthday celebrations of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. So we'll have a whole day program at here the ashram. Those of you who are free on that day from Kanpur or nearby places, so you are welcome to our ashram. So its details of the program will be shared. I have given it to I think Venkat and also Ankush, so they can share it with the mail. Those who are interested, they can come. So let us begin today's session. As usual, we'll begin with the chants of Shanti mantras, Shanti mantra, Veda Ghosha, Sanskrit it is called. So these mantras actually tune our mind very much. They have their own power, their own cadence, and their own influence. So please close your eyes and listen to them. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om sahana bhavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Bhadram Karnebhih Shrunuyama Devaah Bhadram Pashyemakshabhiryajatraah Sthirairangai sastanubhihi vyashema devahitam yadayuhu swasti na indro vruddhashravah swasti na pusha vishvavedah swasti nastaksho arishtanemihi swasti no brihaspatiradadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Namah Shri Atirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharine. We shall begin by reading from Swami Vivekananda's inspired talks. Swamiji says, one part of the Vedas deals with karma, that is, forms and ceremonies. The other part deals with the knowledge of Brahman and discusses religion. The Vedas in this part teach of the self, and because they do, their knowledge is approaching real knowledge. Knowledge of the absolute depends upon no books, nor upon anything. It is absolute in itself. No amount of study will give this knowledge. It is not theory. It is not realization. Cleanse the dust from the mirror, purify your own mind, and in a flash you know that you are Brahman. God exists, not birth or death, not pain, nor misery, nor murder, nor change, nor good or evil. All is Brahman. We take the rope for the serpent. The error is ours. We can only do good when we love God and He reflects our love. The murderer is God, and the clothing of murderer is only superimposed upon him. Take him by the hand and tell him the truth. Soul has no caste, and to think it has is a delusion. You are life and death. So are life and death, or any motion of or quality. The Atman never changes, never goes on or comes in. It is eternal witness of all its own manifestations, but we take it for the manifestation, eternal and eternal illusion, without beginning or end, ever going on. The Vedas, however, have to come down to our level, for if they told us the highest truth in the highest way, we could not understand it. Heaven is a mere superstition arising from desire, and desire is ever a yoke, a degeneration. Never approach anything except as God, for if we do, we see evil, because we throw a veil of delusion over what we look at, and then we see evil. Get free from these illusions and be blessed. Freedom means to lose all illusions. In one sense, Brahman is known to every human being. He knows I am. But man does not know himself as he is. We all know we are, but not how we are. All lower explanations are partial truths, but the flower, the essence of the Vedas is that the self in each of us is Brahman. Every phenomena is included in birth, growth, and death, appearance, continuous, and disappearance. Our own realization is beyond the Vedas because even they depend upon that. The highest Vedanta is the philosophy of the beyond. So we pause here. These few sentences about the small book, about 2 pages I have read. These 2 pages I will now contemplate and share with you my understanding. Try to explain some of the meanings which I guess some of you may not understand because of the lack of previous preparation. So here Swamiji says, to begin with, that Vedas have got 2 parts. Traditionally, Vedas are considered to have 3 parts. But yes, overall what Swamiji is saying is perfect for any newcomer, that Vedas have got 2 parts. One is called Karma Kanda, the section of karma, and the second is called Jnana Kanda, the section of Jnana. In terms of quantification, Karma Kanda is the major portion, and Jnana Kanda is actually very minor portion. in terms of quantification. And Swami Vivekananda says the first part deals with the karma, forms, ceremonies. This is also known as Purva Mimamsa. There's a school of thought called Purva Mimamsa. So Indian philosophy is called Darshana Shastra. So Darshana Shastra means how I look at the reality, Darshana, the way of looking at reality. So there is one way of looking at reality, that is I look through my senses. So senses, sense pleasures. So I have them now and I want to have them in future. So I think of going to heaven because this life will come to an end. So I'll go to heaven. So in heaven also, I will continue to enjoy these things. But how will I enjoy? So for that, I'll do certain karmas. Karmas means some rituals, some yajna, some puja, some special austerity, vrata, upasana. All that I do because I want to go to heaven. So that's one way of looking at it. And a large portion of the humanity always wants this part because they have desires. So Swamiji says, the Vedas have to come down to our level, which means they have to start from where our desires are. So we are full of desires. So they say you do Putra Kameshti Yagya, you will have, if you are a householder, you are a married man, you will have a good son born to you. Putra Kameshti Yagya. It's mentioned in the Ramayana. And Janaka did Putra Kameshti Yagya to get Rama and other his siblings. So this is most of it. But then there is a small section which we say is called the Jnana Kanda, where knowledge of the self, who am I, from where have I come, and what is my real nature. Of course, one is Swabhava. Each one has some sweet Swabhava. Some people have got not so sweet Swabhava. We all know from our practical experience. But even beyond these variations in Swabhava, there is my Swarupa, my real nature. Swarupa, my real Rupa, real form. What is it beyond my Swabhava, external Swabhava? That is called Atman, the real being, the Chaitanya inside us. Chaitanya is inside us, we say, but actually it's outside us also. It's everywhere. But in understanding, we begin with this, that I am not busy with the external world. I do some introspection and I turn my attention within. So Vedas teach first part and second part both. And then he says, when you are coming to the second part, which means the self, in between there is a third part, which is known as Upasana Kanda, where certain meditations are taught. So we are not going into details of that. Here it is sufficient to know that we reach the knowledge portion. Now, knowledge of what? Jnana Kanda, jnana of what? Not of any object, but jnana of the jnana itself. Knowledge of the knowledge, which is knowledge of the self. And he says that this absolute knowledge, it is not dependent on anything, because it is not of an object, knowledge of something. No, it is knowledge. So if it is knowledge, not dependent on any object or any conditions, it is, I am, it is, then it is always independent, it's absolute. So what I am supposed to do then? Having said this, what I am supposed to do then? Swamiji says, cleanse the dust from the mirror, purify your own mind, and in a flash you will know that you are Brahman, that you are that divine spirit. So you have to cleanse the mind, but the cleaning the mind only will take whole life. Of course, to begin with, some success will say, oh, these days I'm not feeling so much angry. Anger has come down. Not that you have overcome fully anger, it's still there. But now, earlier I used to react too much, now I react less. So that means your inner instrument is becoming clearer. So cleansing the dust from the mirror. So this is a very important thing. So I remember one Hindi or Urdu, I think Mirza Ghalib's one verse, one couplet. He says, he Sari, I just may have some change in the order of words, but meaning you will understand. I'll translate also. सारी उम्र मैं यही गलती करता रहा. सारी उम्र मैं यही गलती करता रहा. धूल मेरे चेहरे पे थी, आईना साफ करता रहा. So धूल मेरे चेहरे पे थी. I was dirty, but I was cleaning the mirror where my reflection is coming. So this is the mistake that I have been doing all my life, which means I have been trying to correct others and not correct my viewpoint, my understanding, or my mind. Swamiji says, cleanse the dust from the mirror, purify your own mind, and in a flash you know that you are Brahman. Now comes the idea of God as you find in Vedanta. He says God exists. That's it. That is it. God exists. Not birth or death, not pain nor misery, nor murder, nor change, nor good, nor evil. All these are not existing forever. They exist for a while. They are within the framework of three factors. What are these factors? Desha, Kala, Nimitta. Space, time, and factors responsible for making something happen. So Desha, Kala, Nimitta. They are all phenomena around us, is within us, within these three factors. But what these three factors are standing upon, he says, is a ground of our reality, ground of all activity and all dynamicism, or all good and bad things that are happening in this world. That ground is divine ground, and that's our real nature. That's called Atman. Further, Swamiji says here that heaven is a mere superstition arising from desire, and a desire is ever a yoke. Yoke, you understand, is what is put for a bull or a horse. You know, Hindi में उसको लगाम कहते हैं, लगाम लगाती. So you have put a yoke. So never approach anything except God, which means try to get rid of your desires. So desire is a yoke. It keeps you connected. Chalo idhar chalo. Chalo udhar chalo. Suppose I can be without that chalo idhar chalo udhar chalo. I can be what I am. Can I attain that stage? He says, yes, you can. That is possible only when you go beyond this desire, the world of desires, and discover your nature, which is ever fulfilled. You understand this point? Ever fulfilled. We get, for instance, what is not being fulfilled. So you feel that unless I am feeling hungry, so let me have pizza. So you finally, of course, pizza shop is far off, and you don't have money immediately. Somehow you borrow something, put in your maybe your internet account, and you transfer, you order, it comes. There is a time. Till then you are feeling so restless, you are feeling, oh, when this person will come. When he comes, whether it is pizza or something else, you eat it. At that time, suddenly you get a fulfillment. Aha! But that fulfillment is only for a short while. That fulfillment, that sense of feeling purna, is only for a short while, because it is connected with senses. Can I have a fulfillment which is not connected with senses? That is the thing placed before us by Vedanta. It says, yes, you are already fulfilled. Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. So you have come from that full, and now you will go back to that full, if you follow the path. Otherwise, you will be moving in this world of not full, in this world of what we call as abhavas. So pizza was one example. Something else could be taken example. Some achievements. You wanted to become the vice chancellor of the university. Once you become, you feel so fulfilled, as if you have arrived in life. It's okay. But one day they will say, sir, you are vice chancellor, wonderful. But now you are 70. Now you have to retire, sir. Some younger person should come. That is the service rules. Suppose you say, no, I will not be in service rules. I'll do my own business. I'll be independent. I'll do a self-entrepreneur. Very good. When you are 75 or 80, let's see. Then say, I have become so old, still I have to work. So what is it that we are seeking in life? We are seeking that fulfillment, that happiness, that inner peace, inner satisfaction. All these are external things. And in our Vedantic journey of man from wherever he is to the highest, all these have got a role. But it's only a role. It is not the ultimate swarupa of mind. So you are never born as a vice chancellor or never born as a professor or a student from IIT. You're not born like that. You are born because you acquired these things through your desire, through your ability, through your hard work, sometimes through luck also, or a combination of all this. And one day they will all slip from our hand also. It is not that we are sounding a negative thought or a negative note. They come and they go. There is the nature of this world. So once we don't want to let them slip off our hands, we start suffering. So a time comes, we have to let them slip off. We have enjoyed enough. So we have to expand our ego and go beyond our present sense of ego and go transcend the ego. That is the important thing. Swami Vivekananda says, I'll close with that. Every phenomena is included in birth, growth, and death, appearance, continuous, and disappearance. Our own realization is beyond the Vedas because even they depend upon that. The highest Vedanta is the philosophy of the beyond. So philosophy of the beyond. Let us keep that in mind. We are trying to study the philosophy of the beyond. So this is the reading for today. So now let's have our meditation session. So this reading and this reflection over the reading will help us to detach ourselves from whatever work we have been doing or line of thinking we have been pursuing, and prepare the mind to do a little more subtler kind of concentration. Most of the concentration is of a gross type. So we are trying to do something subtler. Of course, intellectual studies also are kind of a subtle concentration, but even more subtle than that is the not getting carried away by the waves of desire, of fear, of regret, which keep coming in our mind. So that we are trying to attain. So let us have that session for next 15-20 minutes. So I request everyone to sit straight, close your eyes, and keep yourself relaxed. Keep your head straight, don't bend it forward, and chest also straight, don't be slouching. But sit comfortably, don't overstretch yourself. Close your eyes. As we close the eyes, we feel our own presence. Feel your own presence. Let us feel the presence of the world around us, different sounds, some sensations, but don't react to them. Feel detached. There's an irritating sound of some vehicle, some child weeping nearby, or some passing person, or some mechanical sound. Try to feel detached, as if you have put a ear plug. We are not responding once we put the ear plug. Maybe physically you can try putting it if too much sound is there. If there is no such sound, just quietly observe. You are sitting in your room, on your chair or bed, or below on the floor, sitting straight with eyes closed, comfortably without movement. Take a long breath and exhale. Let's take another long breath and exhale. Another long breath and exhale. Now relax. Sthiram Sukham Asanam. In the asanam, in the right posture, we are sitting steadily without movement of our body parts and sitting comfortably. So to sit comfortably, it is better to always wear somewhat loose clothes. Don't wear tight clothes while meditating. If you have issues in folding your legs, some pain, then you can sit on the chair, but sit straight. Otherwise, you can sit in a Sukhasana, simple way in which we sit in our temples. Let us fill our mind with positive, healthy thoughts of well-being. Be positive. Let us feel that we are healthy and wish everybody to be healthy. May no one suffer misery, pain, or disease. Let us feel we are mentally strong, healthy, calm, and pure. And similarly, wish everyone to be strong, mentally, pure, and calm, and healthy. May all beings be at peace. May everyone develop right perspective of life, where let him think of doing good to others, living a life of unselfishness, of hard work, of inner peace, of contribution to society, a life of inner joy, not running after the temporary happiness of the senses, but permanent, lasting peace and happiness, which comes from pure mind. May no one suffer misery, pain, or tragedy and death and violence of any type. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. May that Almighty Creator show everyone the right path and give them sadbuddhi. pure intellect. Let us pray in this manner and feel our prayer is going in all directions, like steam from a pot, from an open water pot, steam going in all directions, above, sides, below, everywhere. We wish good to all. Feel you are also strong and you are competent to meditate. Have faith in your power to meditate, in your capacity to calm and concentrate the mind. Have faith in that. Let's not have any negative thought about our capacity. Let us mentally bow down to all forms of God, of that transcendental ultimate reality. May the blessings of God and blessings of all great spiritual masters of all traditions, religions, and times be upon us. Keep your mind in the present moment. Don't think of the past moment or the future moment. Think of the present moment. We are present in that present moment. This is our body. We, the human beings, men, women, educated, not so educated, successful, not so successful, beautiful, not so beautiful, intelligent, not so intelligent, all characteristics of body, mind. Essentially, we are human beings. Think of your human instrument called as human body, made by the Prakriti, using our parents. Think of how great blessing it is to be given a human body, the crown of God's creation. We have such characteristics which no other living being has. We humans have it. In this, we can think of meditation. We can think of something beyond our senses. Think of your body, various limbs of the body, the toes, the heel, the full leg, the calf muscles, the shin, knee joints. Think of the flexibility of the knee joints so that you can walk. The thighs, the hip joint. Think of this, both the legs. Feel the sensation. How your leg is touching the ground, feel that. how your legs are touching the ground if you are sitting cross-legged. The spine, the bottom of the spine, middle of the spine, the top of the spine. Spine keeps us erect, straight. Think of the shoulders, the collarbones, the chest, the lungs, and the heart. Think of how heart is beating, how it begins with right from when we are in womb till we die, how this remarkable instrument keeps beating. Try to feel your beats, heartbeats. Think of the chest, the stomach, the navel, both hands, fingers, the palms, the upper arms. The shoulder joints, the neck, the head, forehead, eyebrows, closed eyes. Try to feel the closed eyes. The ears, ear lobes, cheeks, nostrils, chin, the calmness over the whole body, on the face. And think of the power behind the body, inside the body. Think of that prana shakti and how it is manifesting through the breathing. Think of the breathing. Just be conscious of your breathing in and out. As you breathe in, feel that you are breathing in purity, calmness, like water being poured, pure water being poured into a pot having some ink. So we are taking all this in and removing all the ink from inside. Ink of restlessness, of impurity, and throwing it out as we breathe out. So breathe in purity and breathe out, breathe away all impurity and restlessness. Think of your thoughts, the mental plane on which we all live. Our thoughts, our mind is like an airport where thoughts are landing and taxiing for some time and again flying off. Past memories, thoughts about future. It is a natural function of the mind. Now, as we try to meditate, we slow down this activity and try to withdraw the mind, concentrate it step by step. Now visualize an object for your concentration, for your focus of your attention, and keep it in the middle of the chest. Feel there is light of the divinity there. Think of the flame of a burning candle, or think of any divine figure, like the figure of so many gods that we worship, which are all manifestation of the same Brahman, Shiva or Vishnu or Krishna, Rama or Ganesha or Durga, or great prophets like Ramakrishna. As we think of it in the center of the chest, this is our object for fixing our attention. Like next couple of minutes, no instructions will be given. Just keep trying fixing on that visualized, imagined form in the center of the chest. You can also repeat the sacred Om a few times, around 10-20 times in the beginning, or alongside your efforts to meditate. Either Om, or you can repeat any name of the God, like Bhagwan Ram's name, Rama, Rama, or Krishna's name, Krishna, Krishna. Any of these sacred names, or any other sacred name. Now I'll not give any instructions. After a few minutes, we'll have peace chant and close the meditation. Let us chant Om together once. Then we will start our inner focus. Let us conclude. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Now, close eyes can be opened, and let us offer the fruits of all our efforts to the Divine Being and pray for the well-being of all, and open the eyes.
Thanks, Maharaj. Maharaj, we have question in chat box. Shall I read it?
Please do.
Maharaj, this is question from Swarnendu Saha. If we go through a major traumatic life experience, which we cannot explain as to why did it happen to us, and that too after a long introspection into our own life, then how to justify it happening to us out of nowhere and how to face life ahead?
Swarnenduji, what I would say that why things happen the way they happen in our life is something which we all keep struggling to understand. But we have never been able to find a more satisfactory answer than to finally stop at the Siddhanta, the Karma Siddhanta. Somewhere perhaps we have had done this thing. We deserved it, so we got it. We never wanted it, but we deserved it. We deserved it because we had done something, some karma. Now it's a very harsh answer, but I don't have any other answer as far as my little understanding is concerned. So in Hindi, I was reading something where it was written, जो अगर आप को कोई रुलाता है तो कल उसको कोई if between karma. Now, having said the solution is that whatever has happened, I should now kind of mentally accept it at this point and not become bitter about it. It's very tough, but that's what we should be. This is what you find lesson drawn from the lives of the great people. Look at the life of the great Pandavas. They were always with Krishna, but how many sufferings? Or think of Buddha. We think Buddha was an enlightened being. So he was enlightened all the time. He just sat, smiled and meditated. He had to face so many problems. One of his own cousin was jealous of him. And he poisoned Buddha once. Buddha had to come out of it. Or you think of Swami Vivekananda. It all looks very grand. His message of strength, which it is. But think of his life, how many struggles he had to pass through. So that is also, we must remember that all great people, the finished product that we see, there is also a lot of activity and hard work behind that. So if we have passed through a lot of misery and pain and traumatic experiences, if we have now developed the right attitude, we will become more soft. We will become more strong also. And we'll understand the nature of creation, nature of life much better. So whosoever has been the cause of your experience, the traumatic experience. I'm not just addressing you, but anyone. So just pray for them. Let us say that may this not happen again. May they be free from all problems. And go forward. Don't look backward. Try to be in the present. The past thoughts will come again. Again, try to bring them in the present moment and try to think of the future like that.
Thanks, Maharaj. This next question from Chitresh Meena. What is the best method to stay away from laziness? Please guide us.
Why do we become lazy? Because somewhere our motivation is weak. Motivation is weak. So try to overcome your lack of motivation. Try to hook yourself with some passion. This is what I have to attain. So, there are two words. One is called hobby and it's called passion. So what is hobby? Hobby is let's say I play violin when I find time. In my spare time, I like it. And passion is I find time for my, let's say, violin playing. That's my passion. So try to develop a passion for whatever you're doing instead of just developing a hobby. One way is to read the lives of great people and great achievers. And remember, when we go on postponing things, they become crises, बहुत urgent हो जाएंगे बाद में. अरे ये क्यों? A stitch in time saves 9 says English proverb. If we had done beforehand itself. So keep your priorities very clear. If you don't do this, then you'll have to pay price for it. If you don't, for instance, you don't do certain things which should have been done. So we understand the life, in that sense, that certain things I have to keep doing, although I may not be having any urgency in doing it. So I must become more mature to do things which are good for me and not just wait for emergencies and crises and the deadlines, timelines. Timelines help us, but we should try to rise above that.
Thanks, Maharaj. Maharaj, I have one question. Why do we become restless?
Not only become restless, we are restless, generally speaking, because if you go very deep, it is because of desires. The mind is restless because of desires. So these desires have been classified into 3 kinds, We call it as Aishana Traya. In Sanskrit, it's called Aishana. Aishana means Icha. Aishana means push. Traya. Traya means 3. So 3 types of pushes. We have thousands and unimaginable number of desires human beings can have. But you can classify them. That's what our great rishis have done it. They've classified them into 3. One is called the desire for, it's called Putraishana, Vittaishana, and Lokaishana. These 3 are there. I'm giving you Vedantic perspective. Why become restless? Maybe somebody else might refer to from psychological angle and things like that. So what are these 3? Putraishana, desire to have a putra. Putra means not just a biological son. It means anything that will continue me. So it may not be putra. I may be wanting to write a book. So I'll be known afterwards. I'll construct a building. It's a putraishana, kind of putraishana. And in order to fulfill the putraishana, I need vitta. I need means, artha. Because it is known as vittaishana. I need to earn money. I need to have resources. I need to have connections. Then I can have all those things which will make me fulfill my desire to continue after my death. To continue after my death. Putraishana and Vittaishana. Then Lokaishana. Lokaishana is of 2 types. One is the Loka, which means Swarga Loka. I will go to some Loka after my death. See, no science can tell about it. Science deals with senses. So science cannot tell something which is beyond senses. So what our scriptures say, that there is a Loka beyond, which is dealing with, beyond senses. There is a word beyond our present life. It's called Loka. So Swarga Loka or Narka Loka. There is other Lokas spoken of. Either that is one meaning of Lokaishana, or right now here I should become very famous. Now only 30 people know me. Then 3,000 people should know me. Then 3 lakh people should know me. Whole world should know me. And so this is called Lokaishana. Desire to be famous, to be popular. to be recognized as something big. So these three things, they say, ultimately make the mind restless. You know, obviously on a superficial level, we'll have something, a manifestation of these three ashanas only. So we should try to understand our ashanas. And there's an interesting book called Ascent to Illumination. Ascent to Illumination. It is 10 lectures by Swami Atmashraddhananda of our Ramakrishna order. So Ashokanji passed away some 50 years ago. He was in America. He was a disciple of Swami Vivekananda. So his that book, there's one chapter. It's called "Why is the Mind Restless?" There he mentions these things. So let us try to, this is a philosophical understanding of our restlessness, and then try to, in a day-to-day life, try to reduce our desires, and try to practice meditation, try to practice patience. Then I think the restlessness will come down.
Thanks, Maharaj. Maharaj, there is one more question just now came. Shall
True
I
love.
read it?
Yes.
Maharaj. From
So
Janak Singh.
Okay.
My question is, what is true love? Please guide.
Janak Singh ji, true love is very hard to find in this life, because most of the love is mixed up with a lot of desires and selfishness. So I love you, let's say, I love you because I expect something from you. If not now, in future. So my investment is for future. I'm loving you, so which means doing some favors to you, being very kind to you, etc. Because I think in future you will be of some use to me, either money-wise or otherwise. So these are all selfish loves. So, and the love for our own people. So he is my relative and I have love for him. It's okay. This Sri Ramakrishna used to say, this is known as Maya. But to love others, it is Daya. So he's not related to me. In nowhere he is part of my biological or extended family. But I feel for him. That's called Daya. So true love comes only when we have risen above our ego and our desires. Then you find that love is so wonderful. But generally speaking, love is full of attachments, or sometimes it is a strong sexual pull. We call it love. Sexual pull is meant for creation, or the Prakriti wants to continue the creation. So she has created all this. But there could be something higher than this. That's called pure love, where I don't expect anything from you, nor I feel I feel bad if you don't give me anything. I just want to give. Instead of just wanting to have, I want to give. To make an understanding better, I would suggest you a book if you can. It is there. It's the audio book is there in YouTube also. It's called the Art of Loving. It's a very serious book. A small book, maybe less than 150 pages, but a very serious book. It's called The Art of Loving. It's around 60 years back. It was first published. It's by an author named Erich Fromm, E-R-I-C-H, Fromm, F-R-O-M-M, Fromm. So Erich Fromm, I think he was a German or a French who migrated to US. He has a number of books analyzing the Western perspective of many things, but you'll find many of them are very relevant to we Indians, most of our educated Indians, English-knowing Indians. That book is of great help. So the art of loving, how the love is in art or love is a science, and how love has to be rescued from all kinds of negativities, and how without love there cannot be fulfillment in life. So he discusses it very well. I would suggest you to please go through it, then we can further talk about it.
Thanks, Maharaj.